Hey Sabria, how are you? Second, guys. What's up, Amir? Sabria, how'd you start your part three rough draft? If I didn't give you the work for it yet, did you do your outline for Act Three? All right, let's get some stuff together and let's get started. All right, you just did the outline part. That's fine. Gonna give one more minute for those people who have not shown up to get here, and we will begin. We got 5 people. Okay. All right, guys. So today we're going to go over your Act 3. Oh, your Act 3 outline. Let me just write that. That way everyone knows. So your Act 3 outline, the key writing elements. It's going to start with the refusal of return. So if you guys could get that sheet out and just be looking at Act 3. Act 3 is the shortest section of all of your writing because this is going to be where you wrap up all the large events and your hero gets to go home and either has their happy ending, has it to be continued, maybe has a sad ending depending on the writing style that you have. But this is where your story gets summed up and the reader finds out how the story ends for your protagonist. So, initially, with this section, we are going to be starting out with the refusal of the return, meaning, does your hero or does your character refuse to go back home where they started? All right. So, you have to ask yourself, does my character make it home? Does my character make it home? Okay. Or you can also ask, does my character want to go home? All right. If you can ask yourself either of these questions, and for does my character want to go home, we put no, or does your character make it home, you put no, that would be the refusal of return. Meaning your main character started this journey in one place, experienced this journey, and decided that after this journey, they've either grown and experienced enough that they no longer want to go back to this place that they called home because maybe they've seen other opportunities, seen the world, or maybe it's they don't want to go home because maybe they found out home was where their problems were. Home was not as safe as they once thought it was. Okay. If you can think of those elements for your character, the refusal to return may be something you want to add. Does your character, by the end of all of your writing, feel like there's more adventure to be had, or are they ready to go home and, call it a day? Did they experience enough that they now just want to relax? Okay. Next is magic magic flight / pursuit. All right. So the magic flight or the pursuit is going to be the point where your hero is being chased or otherwise trying to escape something. So I'm not sure if Kyle's in here today, but this could be him deciding to come home, and on his way home, he just has to escape the authorities, maybe, or escape someone who's trying to set him up, etc. However, the story goes. Or this could be in Sabria's story, the mom or dad realizing she does not have the family's interest in mind with her virus thing, that they control, and she decides she never wants to go back home. But let's say wherever she decides she wants to escape to, she's being chased there because she has information that they may not want out there, or maybe she has information that is valuable to them, so they go for one last chase before they let her go. Okay, so that's what you want to keep in mind during your magical flight or pursuit. Okay, for Jermaine, that might be um, when Sawkill is going home or going to the place that he wants to go to for peace. Does he have maybe a fight with his inner demon one more time, one last hurrah that he needs to overcome before he can be truly free. That'd be a great way to add that in there as well. So, is there a point where your hero is being chased or otherwise trying to escape? All right. So, after these two sections, again, remember with your organizer that you may not need every section. For Act 3, you'll use most of these sections, but again, you do not need to use all of them. For example, if your character chooses to return home, the refusal to return section will not matter for you. Okay? But it really depends on how you want your story to go. How's your flow? Okay. So next, there's a section called the rescue from without, not within, but without, meaning someone on the outside helps them. So rescue from without. Okay. What do you think rescue from without means? Rescuing from without is a point where everything feels hopeless to your character. And is your character in this hopeless moment saved by someone unexpectedly? This would be, for example, in the old Hercules movie, right? The animated one. Hercules is falling from Olympus, and Pegasus and Phil just swoop in and catch him, and he's alive, right? That happened right before the end, and that allowed Hercules to make that last hurrah, complete his challenge against the Titans, and then live and prove that he had the power of the gods. And trying to think what else. Rescue from without. That could also be, if anyone here has watched the Harry Potter movies, or if you've seen Aladdin. If you've seen Aladdin, this part would be when Aladdin is sent to that really cold, barren wasteland, and he finds Abu, and then he also finds Carpet, but Carpet's frozen, right? He starts to freeze and he passes out. But Carpet wakes up and realizes, oh no, Aladdin is passed out. We need to fly him immediately to Agrabah. And in that moment, that action saves Aladdin's life. And that is a rescue from without, taking him back to Princess Jasmine so that he can fight Jafar. All right. So let's write that down for you. So a rescue from without is a point when everything feels All right. So I'm going to keep these three up. I will zoom in a little bit. That way you guys can get those notes. Once you're done, just type done in the chat, and I'll move to the next section. There's only 3 more left to do. This is a really simple part of your writing. Act 3 should be an easy time for you guys. All right, Amir, thank you for letting me know. Thank you, Dominique. Jermaine, you're supposed to just be copying these notes. Did you miss the information that I gave for each of them? Okay. Sabria, did you have these notes? There's 7 of you in here, but I got 3 dones. So I just want to make sure that everyone's good. All right, I'm going to assume one of them is Miss Chris, and 2 maybe from the outside. So, all right. I'm going to erase these, and we'll get into the last sections. All right. Thank you, Ajay. So Ajay is the extra. All right. So next is crossing the threshold. Crossing the threshold is exactly what it sounds like. All right. So crossing the threshold is there a clear point where your hero returns home? So simple enough. Does your hero return home? If you can answer yes to this question, you also want to give us how they came home. Okay? Minimum of how they got home. All right? Ideally, you would like to put why they also came home, but those details should already be apparent throughout your writing. Is there a reason they were fighting all this time or on this journey? If there is, once they've completed that mission, the reason they would be going home maybe is because they finally found peace, or they want to relax, or their job here is done. Okay. So if your character is crossing the threshold, at what point do they decide that they want to go home? When is their job done? Okay. Just with something like that, you just want to ask those key questions. That way you can explain those lightly in the story. If you remember when I give you your revisions to your outlines from Act 1 and Act 2, you may have certain sections where you have information, and I ask for further clarifying information. How can you make this more specific? How can you make this with enough detail that your reader knows exactly what's going on? Crossing the return threshold is going to be a part where you are going to sum that up for your reader. Okay? They've returned home. Their life at this point should be at ease unless you plan on giving us a to be continued, right? So when they return home, how do they return home? And be thinking about the why or the when, okay? That way you can paint the picture, paint the scene when they finally return home. So next is Master of Two Worlds. All right. So oh, I wrote two twice. Sorry about that. The Master of Two Worlds. All right. So this one's pretty cool. This would be something for someone like Ymir, who really did focus on the Greek gods, or someone who focused on the supernatural. Okay. So the Master of Two Worlds, and I'm gonna fix this E because I don't like it. The Master of Two Worlds has your hero conquered both the familiar and unfamiliar worlds? Hi, Ariana. All right. So, does your hero conquer both the. I'm going to just move this so I can not be all up in your grill. Familiar and unfamiliar. Okay. So what would this look like? Ymir, for your story, this might be Ymir fighting Ares on Earth and winning, but Ares saying that maybe he needs to challenge him in Olympus one last time to truly be the victor in the home of the gods, right? Or this could be for Jermaine, right? Maybe he defeats Sawkill on the outside and there are no longer uh tragedies caused on the outside for Sawkill, but maybe Sawkill has this internal world within him that this demon lives in and he needs to vanquish him from within. So this description of whatever the world looks like within you that this demon is hiding in or that you need to conquer, that could be this unfamiliar world, this unfamiliar territory. I'm trying to think who else. Sabria, right? For yours, your character could be going from realizing she's not just a normal girl, right? She figures out everything in her normal life, right? She's able to exist as a normal girl, but also her unfamiliar world may be the world of these companies that her family has run this business for with the shady dealings. So Has she conquered that business that is shady? And has she conquered the trials and tribulations that this has caused in her personal life? Is everything set back to normal? If so, great. If not, what is she dealing with now? What has she overcome, and what does her world look like after that? Okay. And lastly, is the freedom to live. So the freedom to live, your character has gone through this whole journey with resolve, right? You want to resolve problem A, B, and C, or problem A, or you need to find the answers to something, right? There's something that needs to be discovered or resolved your whole journey, right? But now that you resolve this problem, does your character feel as though they can live freely? This weight is off of their shoulders. Are they able to finally come home and relax? Um, you know, Similar to like a Fast and the Furious movie. They go on this hard journey. Are they able to come back, sit home with family, and sit by the grill? Are they able to just come home and relax, no longer having to fight through anything, no longer having to find answers because they've already resolved the question? Okay? This freedom to live is the very last part, all right, of your story. If your character feels at ease and that everything is right in the world, they definitely should have that freedom to live. Okay. All right. So, freedom to live. Since the hero typically begins the journey with resolve to. I'm sorry, I think I wrote that goofy. Since the hero typically begins the journey to resolve. Yes. Since a hero begins a journey to resolve a problem, does that problem seem resolved? And I don't mean just for your hero. I'll write this in red at the very bottom. All right. In red for all characters. The reason why I write this is Sabria. Let's say for your character, right? She feels that her journey is resolved. She's finally found out that her mom and dad were part of this plot to build this virus that would hurt people. She has taken down that virus, that plot. It's no longer going to be made and released. But does she find another problem? Is there more to this sinister web that her family has? Or after this, is her family back to normal? Does her family go to prison and she's with someone and her life is normal? What would that look like? What would her freedom to live look like? Okay. For Ajay, for your story, right, with Mani, does she find who killed her mother? And is it actually the boyfriend slash stepfather that you thought? And is the uncle actually in on it, right? Does she find out who the true killer is? And if she does every character find peace in this information? Or how does your story end? How is that peace given? Okay. Jermaine, for your story, Sawkill, um, the problem initially was the aunt's death, but he has this inner demon manifesting in him because of this, and I'm not sure as of yet what problem will need to be resolved by the end. But does Sawkill overcome that and overcome his demon, or does Sawkill become one with the demon, etc.? All right, there you go, Sabria. So find an eloquent way to express that. That way we experience the feelings of loss that Sabria feels when she loses Michael. Give those key details. Okay? Everyone, when you have these notes, write done. That way I can know when to proceed. Please just let me know. Awesome, Dominique. Dominique, if you could send your stories, I would love to be able to um, get that information in so you could have, those rough drafts edited and you can create a final draft for yourself. I think that would look really awesome. I would love to see what your story turns out to be like. Jermaine, do you have it done? Sabria? Awesome. All right, guys. So I'm going to keep this on the board, but now I'm going to rotate towards me because if you have that information, there's no more explanation that needs to go in the lesson. Okay. Your outline. I'm going to write it here in big red. That way everyone knows. Outline. Do. It's big on the board. Outline due next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, if you need the specific date, it's 1 week from today. That is June 2nd. Okay. June 2nd. It's on the board. Everyone should know. Outline 3 is due June 2nd. There's no class on Thursday, guys, so just get everything done as best you can on that in that week, because I will not be here on Thursday. My Uncle Junior unfortunately died of coronavirus this past weekend, and we're gonna have a service for him, so I won't be here. I probably won't be able to answer your emails and messages right away either. Um, but if you need me, I'll try to be there for you tomorrow as best I can on Friday and the weekend. Um, just keep in touch. Let me know what you need, and I'll see you probably next Tuesday because I won't be here on Thursday. Is everyone aware of what they need to do? Awesome, Jermaine. Thanks, Jermaine. Thank you, Sabria. I appreciate it. Guys, I'm going to teach you this today. Sorry for your loss. Love you guys. I'm going to teach you the right way to get all this out there. That way you sound like bosses when you talk in the future. But thank you. I appreciate it, even though I'm being a smartass. But I appreciate you guys. Um, thinking about you guys all the time. You guys help me get through a lot of stuff. You're right. You're right, Sabria. It should say your. It should say your. Look at me out here messing up. Thank you for holding me accountable. There you go, Sabria. And sorry for your loss. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I'm thinking about you guys all the time. Feeling this sense of duty and obligation to you guys really keeps me going. So I will talk to you guys later, and just hug your loved ones real tight. Let them know you love them, because you really don't know uh, when someone's going to be here for the last time. All right. So love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.